What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, excuse me, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Tomb Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But it wouldn't be the first time that I pulled a collector's rare, because I also pulled this. Freshly pulled out of my Genesis Impact box opening that I did a few months back is a collector's rare B-Cop from the Underworld. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. The centering on the back is a bit off from top to bottom, you can tell a little bit, but honestly, it really doesn't matter to me. I will be getting this graded at some point. Just really don't know when, though. But with that being said, as I'm trying to slip this into my... There we go. With that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which ties into this week's episode, which is this. What were your guys' thoughts on Crown Jewel this past Saturday? And what was your favorite match from the entire show? Let me know down in the comments below, because for this week's episode, we're going to be doing an in-depth review, excuse me, of none other than Crown Jewel itself. As I'm like trying to brush the crust off my eyes. Haha. Sorry, guys. Literally just woke up. Anyway, guys. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyway, now I fully remember. I apologize, guys. But anyway, so for those who are new to the channel and don't know, every Saturday that we have a premium live event, I always do the results of the show, and then on Monday's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, which obviously today is Monday at the time that I am recording this, which is actually Monday, November 6th, actually. I always do an in-depth review of the show. I give my rating, my rating of each match on the card from 1 star to 5 stars. And then I rate the whole show itself from 1 star to 5 stars. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's just dig into the show with the kickoff show, as Sami Zayn went one-on-one with the Judgment Day's rookie, I guess we could call him, J.D. McDonough, in what was considered to have been a banger of a match, which, my opinion, it should have been on the main card itself, because Sami Zayn, again, as I mentioned before, he went from main eventing the Royal Rumble, main eventing the Elimination Chamber in his hometown of Montreal, to main eventing night one of WrestleMania, to main eventing Backlash, to literally defending the tag team titles in the main event of SmackDown in London, England, in the O2 Arena. Now to this, literally resorting back to the old Sami Zayn, who would only wrestle on the kickoff show. Not only do I find that disrespectful, but it's a slap in the face to him, because he worked his ass off throughout all of 2022, ever since WrestleMania last year in Dallas, with his Anything Goes match against Johnny Knoxville, to joining the Bloodline, main eventing Survivor Series inside of War Games with the Bloodline, leading into now. He worked his ass off, only to be on the kickoff show. I will say this. I will say this. You look at Sami. He's one of the best that WWE has to offer. JD McDonough is literally on that level, and this was back and forth. Sami Zayn, just to name a couple of the highlights that took place. Sami Zayn took JD McDonough's head, bounced it onto the turnbuckle, and JD McDonough sold that perfectly, as he literally did a 360 and landed it back first onto the mat. JD McDonough caught Sami Zayn's double axe handle with a drop kick. You can't go wrong with those types of moves. Like, if those types of moves are more suited to be on the kickoff show, then it's like, why even have a main card to begin with? Let's just have all the matches be on the kickoff show, you know? But I will say this proved that, in spite of JD McDonough losing, he proved that he deserves to be in the Judgment Day, as we saw Sami Zayn defeat JD McDonough with a haluva kick and then a blue thunder bomb to pick up the victory on the kickoff show. And I'm telling you guys, I'm being real. Once we get to the main card was loaded. It was stacked as hell. And honestly, that kickoff show, that match was absolutely incredible. 3 stars, easy 3 stars. I really don't think there could have been another outcome, given the fact that this is only the second time in Sami's career that he's wrestled in his home, in I guess his second homeland in Saudi Arabia, because we know that the people of Syria and the people of Saudi Arabia have now buried the hatchet, I guess, if you will, and now both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and pretty much anybody who is Syrian descent, are allowed to compete, are allowed to go to Saudi Arabia and just do their own thing there, which is absolutely awesome. So I really don't think there was any other way that match was going to end. But speaking of, we move into the first match of the main card, as Seth freaking Rollins defended the World Heavyweight title against none other than Drew McIntyre in what was known as Drew McIntyre's chance to right the wrongs of the past. And honestly, this could not have been written any other way. Like, you can't with the match that features two of the biggest baby faces on Raw, you cannot predict who wins. You want both of them to win, but you don't want both of them to lose, if that makes sense. So it's like, what do you do? It's like, what do you do? Do you cheer for Rollins or do you cheer for Drew McIntyre? That right there was a big conundrum for the entire WWE universe in Riyadh. It's like, what do you do? It's like you love Seth Rollins beat not just because of his song, but because of how good he's been the last several years, especially since COVID struck. Or do you cheer for Drew, or do you cheer for Drew McIntyre because he carried WWE on his back throughout all of COVID? What do you do? But this was actually pretty good, because there have been so many times where McIntyre had came this close from becoming the World Heavyweight Champion, even with after 2 Claymores and a future shock DDT to Seth Rollins, and Rollins still kicked out, which was absolutely insane. But at the end, Rollins hit McIntyre with a pedigree and a stomp simultaneously to retain the World Heavyweight title. But what happened after that will shock you, and it might make you laugh just a little bit. Damian Priest's music hit, and he attempted to cash in Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn comes out, wearing a hoodie, attacks Damian Priest, and then takes the briefcase and hauls ass. Honestly, that was probably the best thing that Seth Rollins could have had, because now, as we approach Survivor Series, the question becomes, what's next? What's next for Seth freaking Rollins? Who's next for Seth freaking Rollins? At this point, it could literally be anybody at this point. For all we know, we might see Rollins enter War Games come Survivor Series. We might see him defend the World Heavyweight title. Excuse me. At this point, no one knows. But I will say this, that this match proved that Drew McIntyre deserves to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He deserves to be World Champion one more time before he hangs up the boots. Because there's been a lot of rumors going around saying that he only has a few months left in his contract with WWE. And rumor has it that they're now in talks of a new contract, but we don't really know if he's going to truly renew or not. Nor do we know if he's going to truly be a member of, be a part of the Judgment Day, because there's been a lot of rumors saying that he might turn heel and he might join the Judgment Day, which I don't know if I like that idea, or if I would prefer him as a babyface with his sword Angela, which is named after his mother who passed away a number of years ago. I don't know. It's a bit of a conundrum, but honestly, this match, 4 stars easy. You can't write it off any other way. Could it have ended differently? It's hard to say. I think if Damian Priest cashed in Money in the Bank the same way that Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank in the middle of a match, the match would have been a triple threat, and I think Sami Zayn probably would have cost Damian Priest the World Heavyweight title, and it still would have came down to Rollins and McIntyre, and I think Rollins probably still would have walked out as world champion. So I really don't think it would have mattered any other way. So that's just how I see it. Although at the same time, given the fact that McIntyre did indeed target the back earlier on in the match, McIntyre could have hit Rollins with a few claymores, and he would have been the one to walk out as world champion. So but still, I don't think there was any other way that match was going to end, honestly, in my honest opinion. But speaking of the Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley defended the Women's World Title against not one, not two, not three, but four of the toughest and the baddest women in WWE on Raw: Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez, and Nia Jax. And funny enough, this was Nia Jax's first premium live event match since she came back earlier this year at the Royal Rumble back in January. That was 10 months ago, and we didn't see her since until what was like a little over a month ago, where she came back and not only attacked Raquel Rodriguez, but also attacked Rhea Ripley as well. So this was a match to prove who was the baddest. Don't get me wrong. All five of these women have that level of mentality, that level of brutality, if you will. But let's be real. The odds may have been stacked against Rhea Ripley, but we knew full well that Rhea was gonna walk out as champion. I'm not even gonna justify this match in any way, shape, or form. Literally, this was probably one of the craziest matches we had seen in quite some time, and I'm giving this one 3 stars because the closing moments of the match, we literally saw Raquel Rodriguez pin Zoe Stark, and as Raquel was trying to get the 3 count, Rhea Ripley, actually, no, let me rephrase that. Sorry guys, let me backtrack that. Raquel Rodriguez was planning to pin Shayna Baszler, but Rhea Ripley from the second rope hit Zoe Stark with Riptide, which not only landed on Raquel Rodriguez, but also on Shayna Baszler. And because that Shayna Baszler got the worst of it, Rhea Ripley was the one that pinned Baszler and picked up the victory to retain the Women's World Title. Could it have ended differently? I think if Nia Jax had been right place, right time at that precise moment, she would have won easily. She easily would have won, and it would literally take a miracle for someone to take the title, to take the Women's World Title off of Nia Jax. So yes, it could have ended differently, but at the same time, if you think about it, what would have happened if someone like Nia Jax did win the Women's World Title? What would happen to Rhea Ripley's mentality come tonight on Raw? Would she still be a part of the Judgment Day? Would she still be Dom's mommy, as he always calls her? How do you think Damian Priest and Finn Balor would have thought? What would have been their thought process? Odds are, Rhea Ripley probably would have been kicked out of the Judgment Day, as would have Dom, because Rhea Ripley said in an interview a while back that Dom isn't allowed to go anywhere. He's that he wasn't allowed to leave Rhea Ripley's side, because If he did, Rhea would have been devastated. And apparently wherever Dom goes, Rhea goes. So if Dom went over to SmackDown, guess what? Rhea Ripley will be there as well. If Dom was in NXT, guess what? So will Rhea Ripley. If Dom were to go to NXT Europe, which no one even knows if we're gonna get NXT Europe at all, Rhea Ripley will be there as well. And even you guys know that there were rumors that NXT Europe was going to come around as early as this year. Literally earlier this year, as early as fucking February, and we're already in the month of November. So it's like, what the hell? When are we going to get NXT Europe? Are we even going to get that at all? Honestly, I don't think we will. But speaking of matches that was completely lopsided, this one was basically that. Solo Sikoa, John Cena. I said it before on Saturday. I'll say it again. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of John Cena just as much as the next dude. But this was basically SummerSlam 2014 all over again. And I say that with a little bit of disdain in my eyes, because even though this was the biggest match of John Cena's career, this was the biggest challenge of Solo Sikoa's career, because this was Solo's chance to prove to the world that he's more than just Roman's enforcer. This was a match to prove that he's ready to be a champion in WWE on the main roster. He's only been a part of the main roster for literally a year. Literally a year and 2 months. Think about that. A year and 2 months. And the only thing that he has to show for it is him becoming the North American champion, only for him to be stripped of the title. Which literally made no sense whatsoever. To which I'm under the impression that maybe Roman Reigns wanted Solo to be champion, so Heyman could tell Shawn Michaels he's not ready. Is that possible? Absolutely. But it took. Think about this. It took literally a dozen. I counted a dozen plus Samoan spikes to John Cena, and Solo Sikoa was able to defeat John Cena with ease. As big of a fan as I am of John Cena, I'm giving this one 2 stars. Don't get me wrong. Solo proved that he has arrived in WWE. There's no denying that. But this match, it could have ended different. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I can justify it. But if I had to predict what could have ended, what could have been different, if you will, I would probably have to say Solo Sikoa not getting that amount of offense over John Cena. I think that right there is what did John Cena in. He allowed Solo to gain that much momentum, and was able to get hit with that many Samoan spikes. So with that said, now the question becomes, what's next for John Cena? Excuse me. Are we seeing the end of John Cena? Are we seeing the end of John Cena's 21-year career? Is he done? Is he retiring now? Honestly, it's hard to say. I've been hearing rumors throughout the weekend that supposedly John Cena will be at SmackDown this Friday, and he's going to address the WWE Universe. I don't know if the rumors are true. They probably aren't true, but only time will tell. But I know that when John Cena does return, he's definitely going to talk about it, and he's going to definitely discuss his future. But honestly, getting the chance to watch John Cena for this long, I think it's been incredible because everyone knows that John Cena is the workhorse, is one of the most workhorse superstars in WWE since Seth freaking Rollins, and everyone knows that Seth Rollins is a workhorse, and we all know it. We all know it. But I will say this: Solo Sikoa has proved that he has arrived in WWE, and I think he's ready to be a champion. But who knows? Maybe we might see him become the next undisputed Universal Champion. Who knows? But we move into a random segment on at Crown Jewel that none of us were expecting. Miz TV. And Miz had Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj as his guest. Now, from what I had read online, Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj is one of the biggest stars in Saudi Arabia. He's been in quite a few movies, including his latest movie, known as Satar, and I've heard a lot about that movie. I heard it's pretty good. I don't know if it is. I know it's a Saudi Arabian movie, but I'm actually tempted to watch it. I don't know if I can watch it on YouTube or what the hell, but he's also a comedian. He's traveled all over the world. He's done comedic shows, not just in Saudi Arabia, but all over the U.S., Canada, Mexico, all over the world. He's a megastar, and Miz TV got interrupted by Grayson Waller, and apparently Grayson Waller wanted the Grayson Waller effect. So then Ibrahim said, "You know what? It's not the Grayson Waller effect ain't right. Let's do Miz TV." So obviously both Miz and Ibrahim attacked Grayson Waller, which ended with Miz hitting Waller with a skull-crushing finale, and Ibrahim hitting Waller with the People's Elbow, pulling off his own take of the People's Elbow. I will say this: if this is the start of Miz becoming a babyface again, honestly, I'm all for it. He's only had what? He's only had like what, two babyface runs, and that's about it. That's about it. In fact, I think his first babyface run came right around the end of 2012, and then his second one came right around the end of 2018, like right around this time in 2018. And in a way, it kind of worked. But if you think about it, his time, all the time, most of his time in WWE, he was a heel, and he had more success in WWE as a heel than he did as a babyface. But the question is, will this babyface run, will he have more? Will he have success? Is it going to work? Is this babyface run going to get over with the WWE Universe? Honestly, only time will tell, because we found out last week that tonight on Raw, it's going to be Bronson Reed, Miz, Ricochet, and I would say Shinsuke, but it's someone else. I think Chad Gable. I think it's Gable. In a fatal four-way match where the winner would challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental title, and we all know that Miz brought honor into that title. Even though Chris Jericho is the only 9-time champion in WWE, Miz made that title what it is today, and Gunther, all he's doing is carrying on the Honky Tonk Man's legacy as the longest reigning champion of all time. So this segment of Miss TV, it was pretty it was pretty good. I'll give it that. My opinion, 3 stars easy. I think in my opinion, I would have given it 4 stars if Grayson Waller hadn't have gotten involved, hadn't have interrupted. But it is what it is. But next up we have the United States title as Rey Mysterio defended against Logan Paul. There's a reason why Rey Mysterio is a WWE Hall of Famer. It's because he can go up against some of the youngest talent in WWE, defeat them, and still get them over with the fans. With the fans. He could even lose to them, and he would still get them over with the fans. John Cena is literally the exact same way. This match was no different. And to prove how much respect Logan Paul has for Rey Mysterio and WWE, Rey Mysterio attempted a moonsault onto Logan Paul. Rey Mysterio was about to break his neck, but Logan Paul grabbed him and used his left knee to save him. That's how much respect he has for this business. But it was the closing moments of the match that made all the difference. The same goon that showed up to SummerSlam with the brass knucks for Logan Paul to hit Ricochet with, showed up to Saudi Arabia, brought in the same pair of brass knucks, and then Santos Escobar came out, and Santos dropped the ball. Logan Paul found the brass knucks and got hit with the 619, but as Rey Mysterio was about to drop the dime, as it's being called, brass knucks to the face, and Logan Paul is the United States champion. Does Rey Mysterio deserve a rematch for that title? Absolutely, 100%. He deserves that rematch, no doubt about it. But I will say this. I will say this. This match proved that Logan Paul deserves it. 8 matches in, and he's already at the top of his game. Crazy enough. And he's had 4 out of all 8 of his matches. He's had 4 victories over some of the best talent in the world. 2 of those matches were against Rey Mysterio. One of them was against The Miz, and the other one was against Ricochet. Excuse me. So this match, 4 stars easy. Could this match have ended differently? Absolutely. If Santos Escobar kept the brass knucks while chasing that goon down, Rey Mysterio would have won, no doubt about it. So Santos dropped the ball on this one. So it could be a sign that we might see a heel turn, in which case Santos Escobar, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde might turn heel and reform Legado del Fantasma, and it would be Legado versus Rey Mysterio, Carlito, and Dragon Lee. But the question becomes, where would Zelina's allegiance lie? Would it lie with Legado, or would it lie with Rey Mysterio? Because everyone knows that all of Legado, Vega, Escobar, Wilde, and Del Toro all grew up idolizing Rey Mysterio, just like you guys and just like me. So is it possible for a heel turn for Santos? Absolutely, but knowing Santos, he'll probably apologize on SmackDown, and Rey would just forgive him because he knew that because Rey knew that he was only trying to help. But it is what it is. But next up, we've got Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's title, and honestly, honestly, we knew Bailey was gonna show up. We knew she was gonna get involved, even though she got hit with the KOD through the announce table. But not only that, we even also saw the return of Kairi Sane. Think about that. Think about that. The last time Kairi Sane was in WWE, she got attacked, destroyed, and kicked out of WWE by Bailey. So, obviously, we all know what we all saw what happened. Kairi Sane attacked Bianca Belair, which allowed Io Sky to hit Belair with the moonsault to pick up the victory. And now the question becomes this: is Io Sky forming her own faction, or is Io Sky kicking Bailey out of Damage Control and bringing in Kairi Sane? Or is Kairi Sane joining Damage Control to get closer to Io and the WWE Women's title? Or maybe perhaps Kairi Sane wants to get revenge on Bailey for what happened that night on Raw 3 years ago. All these questions and more will be answered this Friday on SmackDown. Only time will tell, but this match, aside from all the chaos outside the ring with the return of Kairi Sane and whatnot, 4 stars easy. No shot. I don't think it could have ended differently. I think if Bianca Belair did have backup, like say in the form of like Charlotte Flair or Asuka or whatever, then you know what? Then maybe, but I don't think so. I don't think it could have ended any other way. But next up, Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, 1-on-1. We knew that Damian Priest was gonna bring in the rest of Judgment Day. We knew that Cody Rhodes was gonna be at odds, but I'm just gonna reveal what happened. A Cody cutter from the top rope. Damian Priest kicked out. A disaster kick. Damian Priest kicked out. Jey Uso hit Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough with a super kick, taking a steel chair and chasing them away from ringside, which allowed Cody Rhodes to hit Damian Priest with not 1, not 2, but 3 crossroads to pick up the victory. Could it have ended differently? No, I don't think so, because main event Jey Uso, that's, Cody Rhodes, that's Jay's boy. That's his tag team partner. We could, with the victory over Damian Priest, we could see Rhodes and Uso challenge for the undisputed tag team titles again. But the biggest issue here is that if that were to happen, and we know that both Jay and Cody are about to win, Jimmy Uso is going to get involved, and he's going to cost Uso and Rhodes those tag team titles again. So the only way for that to be avoided is if Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso have backup of their own in the form of Sami Zayn and potentially even also Kevin Owens if he were to come back to Raw for one night only. Pure chaos. So I'm assuming one thing and one thing only that all this can be resolved. War games. But the question is, who's gonna be in War Games? Only one way to find out, and that's to watch Raw and SmackDown over the coming weeks. And I'm telling you guys, guys, for the next month, literally for the next few weeks, it is going to be chaos across Raw and SmackDown. But we now move into the main event: Roman Reigns versus LA Knight. we knew full well. Let's just state for the record, we knew full well that Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa were going to get involved. We knew that was going to happen. But here's something that actually made all the difference. It was the moment that Jimmy Uso took Roman's foot and put it onto the bottom rope. That was the chance that LA Knight had of pinning Roman Reigns one-on-one. Think about this. If LA Knight had hooked that leg and wrapped that arm, Roman Reigns would have lost. If you really look at that match carefully and you see it, then you know LA Knight would have won. And it literally would have been the end of the island of relevancy. So that was completely botched, 100%. But I will say this: that match proved that LA Knight belongs in WWE. So even though Roman Reigns did retain the undisputed title, LA Knight deserves another shot at that title, and he belongs in WWE. So aside from the botch, I don't think it could have ended in any other way aside from that botch. So this match, 5 stars easy. Overall, the card was pretty good. The match between Solo and Cena, it just didn't sit right with me. It literally felt like SummerSlam 2014 all over again, with the 16 German suplexes that Brock Lesnar hit on John Cena. That was that. This was that moment. But overall, it was pretty good. History was made. We saw Kairi Sane return, in which now there's been rumors going around saying that WWE is planning on bringing back Saray, which will be pretty interesting. Maybe we might see a faction for Io Sky that'll feature herself, Saray, Kairi Sane, and perhaps even Asuka. We might see the Kabuki Warriors return. Only time will tell. But overall, 4 stars, hands down. Now the question becomes, what's next? What will War Games look like? Who will be the combatants inside of War Games? And are we going to see the men's and women's traditional Survivor Series elimination matches? That remains to be seen. Only time will tell. But that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.